All right, good morning. I've got my coffee. I've got my numbers all crunched for NBA, so I'm going to go as fast as I can. I got a lot of stuff going on today. Leave for my big trip, so this will be the last video until after April 10th. Let's get you ready. All right, one thing I always get asked about is the specials, so we're going to take you through the process of figuring out who the best plays for these specials are. This week, the scoring system is the same, but they've made assists worth 10 points. So what we're going to do here is we're going to sort our dates A to Z and get down to the end of my game logs here. So 3/28 is my last one. So I've got February 1st through March 28th. And basically we're just going to change our assist number, which is 1.5 normally. It's column U, and we're just going to change that to 10. It's going to take a while, but I'm basically going to just drag this up so it copies this formula for Sorare scoring all the way up to the top of my game logs. And as you can see, even with only 2 months worth of game logs, this is an enormous file. Cutting off the first part of the season was a great idea. So when I get back, we'll probably go March 1st on, so it'll be March 1st through mid-April. I just feel like the more recent game results give you a more accurate feel for what's actually going on. Okay, we've reached the top. This is calculating Sorare scores for every game if assists were worth 10 points instead of 1.5 apiece. What that'll tell us, we can do our normal breakdown. You'll see here are your L10 scores. So you got some low L10 scores. Points per minute obviously go way up for some guys because of the assist totals. And let's see if we can find anybody with some minutes who's got some interesting results. DeLon Wright, obviously a point guard. He's an 11. I don't know if I trust 20 minutes for him though. Dante Exum, he's a 12. High 40s. Jared Butler in Washington, 23 minutes. Standard deviation's huge for him because there were a lot of games where he played like 2 or 3 minutes. So you probably got to take that one with a grain of salt. Oh, Marcus Sasser up to a 75. Obviously, he had some games where he didn't play a whole lot of minutes, but is playing more now. That's interesting. So a 14 for Sasser, and he's in play for this special. Westbrook. Nemhard, 19. Kind of expected to see some bigger numbers here. Of your 0 through 20, Sasser would be the guy, apparently. Miles McBride, 75 at 23, so yeah, you can play him. Here's a 78. Scoot Henderson, 66 for TJ McConnell. That makes sense. Scottie Pippen in Memphis, if he's going to play. Kyle Anderson. Oh, okay. All those guys in the 60s. Oh, here's an 87. Micic. Keontae George for sure. Here's a 90 for Dennis Schroeder, so he can have some big assist games. Draymond, 96. So obviously, you want point guards. Some better than others. Garland, 91, top minus L10. This is going to be an interesting special, though, for sure. Halliburton, 122. Jokic, 125. Doncic, 129. We're going to start with the micro caps. 0 through 10 L10s. Not a whole lot in the low end that I trust right now. One guy I do like is Trenton Watford. He's been getting some more minutes in Brooklyn. Only an 8 L10. They're projecting him about 20 minutes. That gives him a high-end upside, close to 30 in 2 games for Brooklyn over the weekend. We also have Chimezie Metu. Detroit just playing out the string, putting all these backups in, giving them some minutes. He's been getting somewhere in the mid-20s usually, sometimes quite a bit more, depending on what happens in the game and who else is playing. He can get in the 30s pretty easily, I think, 1 game, so a little bit of a risk there. Same thing with Malachi Flynn, backup point guard in Detroit. We're getting in the mid-teens minutes. That puts him kind of mid-20s for points, and with a 10 L10, he's definitely at least worth a look. Only 1 game, though. First of the lower end of the mid-caps, 11 to 20, I like Isaiah Joe. SGA already ruled out, or I think doubtful tonight. Joe's been playing some more minutes. They're projecting him at 25. If he can get 25 minutes, he can score you in the high 20s on that 11 L10 and 2 games over the weekend for OKC. Poku in Charlotte, still a 13. He's been getting his consistent low 20s minutes, and he can certainly get you 30. 2 games for Charlotte. Tim Hardaway went through a real rough stretch there for a while. His L10 fell all the way down to 14. Been getting some more minutes again recently, so if he can get hot, 26 expected minutes gives him a mid-30s projection. 2 games over the weekend for Dallas. Andre Drummond in Chicago, 16 minutes expected. That's his normal range. If he gets more, you're certainly in for some more production. But even in 16 minutes, he can get you over 30, and that's a 2-game weekend for Chicago. Lou Dort, this is just also based on SGA being out. A few more minutes for him. L10 of 20. 2 games over the weekend for OKC. Top end a little over 35. As far as the higher end of the mid-caps go, starting at 21, ending at 30, I've got Jock Landale at 21, playing a lot more since Şengün went out with an injury. Minutes right around that 20 mark. Get you in the mid-30s in 2 games over the weekend for Houston. Jonathan Isaac has been playing a few more minutes than normal in Orlando. He is a really good defensive player, so he'll put up a lot of defensive stats for you. Top end for him, I'd say in the high 30s in 2 games over the weekend for Orlando. Miles McBride in New York continues to play over 40 every night, estimated at 42. He's played higher than that quite a bit lately. If he gets hot from outside, he certainly gets you close to 50 in 2 games for New York over the weekend. DeAndre Hunter in Atlanta, getting a lot more run than normal, 25 L10. He can certainly score the ball. He can play some defense. So low 40s estimate. Only 1 game for the Hawks. Keontae George playing huge minutes for Utah. They have quite a few guys questionable tonight. If he can get out there and get a lot of run, I think 45's in play. 2 games for Utah over the weekend. 2 guys at 28. Amen Thompson's been playing so well for Houston. I think he's one of the best rookies in this class. 28 L10, 32 minutes expected. I think he can get you close to 50 on a good night and 2 games over the weekend for Houston. Draymond gets kicked out in the first quarter last game. I think he'll probably be on his best behavior, but it's Draymond, so who knows. Top end, mid-40s, 2 games for Golden State. Also in Golden State, Trace Jackson-Davis, 1.21 points a minute, really good. His minutes just keep going up. I'm estimating about 29 tonight. That puts him mid-40s as well, and also the 2 games. And then at 30, I got 2 really good plays, I think. CJ McCollum for New Orleans. So New Orleans has been playing their starters more minutes than normal. They're probably ramping up for playoffs. CJ is 1.05 a minute. So that translates to a low 50s estimate. Only 1 game for New Orleans, but this is a trustable veteran player. If you want to go on the opposite end of that spectrum, Delano Banton in Portland. He's been really interesting since this trade. So Portland not playing any of their starters right now. A lot of guys out injured. They're expecting him to get 34 minutes. He's put up some huge performances the last couple of weeks. 30 L10 still in play. Only 1 game, but I think he can easily get 50. He's done it a number of times. He's been close to 60 a couple times. So if you've got a Banton, might be worth the risk to throw him in this weekend. Trey Murphy has been getting starter minutes in New Orleans. I don't think he's a bad play over the weekend. Still just a 1 game, but they're expecting him at 39 minutes, putting him over 50 for an estimate. Jalen Williams in OKC, another SGA being out advantageous spot here. 2 games for OKC. Jalen Williams can really score. 37 minutes expected at 1.17 a minute. Top end estimate of his normal range, just under 55. Nice opportunity for him over the weekend. Steph Curry continues to be a good play. 37 L10, 1.28 a minute. He's still in that high-end star range, even at 35 or however old he is now. 60 for a top end. 2 games over the weekend for Golden State. Don't hesitate to get your Currys in the lineup. There might not be anybody hotter in the league right now than Jalen Green. He is just super confident, playing huge minutes. That L10 all the way up to 43, and it's still a good play. High-end estimate of his normal range, 62.1. That standard deviation of 17.2 means he is on fire right now. Don't hesitate to put Jalen Green in even at the high L10 of 43. 2 Houston games over the weekend. Expect him to keep up his good play. And Giannis up at 52 remains a good play. Only 1 game for the Bucks, but the Bucks are playing their starters more minutes. I think ramping up for playoff basketball here. 75 for a high-end upside on Giannis. Obviously, he's one of your best players in the league. Just 1 game for the Bucks. Some of the other stars have 2, so you may get a little bit of an advantage in a champion lineup because I think a lot of people who own all of these will end up playing one of the guys with 2 games, and Giannis is actually the bigger difference between his L10 and his top end. So maybe you can fit Jokic or Luka with Giannis and then get a couple low-end plays to go along with it. A lot of ways to build this week. All right, that's actually going to do it this week. I will see you back here after April 10th when I return from Iceland and Ireland. Good luck in the interim. If you do have any questions, you can always get a hold of me on X or Twitter at Basketball Wisdom. Go ahead and follow me there if you like. I don't tweet much, but I can respond to DMs or at tweets, and I'm available on the Discord channels. My Discord name is exactly the same, Pasquale Wisdom. All right, thanks for watching, NBAers. Good luck this week.